Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm thrilled to welcome you to an action-packed session that's going to challenge your views on voice AI technology and transform how you think about serving your customers. We've got some incredible guests, brilliant demos, and a few surprises in store for you. First, our CEO, Swapnil Jain, will introduce you to our latest product innovation and explain why today's voice AI technology is different from the legacy conversational AI. Next, we'll be joined on stage by our customers to discuss the impact voice AI can have on the contact center experience. We'll then show you voice AI in action and give you a preview of the innovations you can expect to see from ObserveAI in the near future. And now, I'm excited to welcome our CEO. He has been spearheading AI innovation for contact centers for nearly a decade. He's also instrumental in introducing AI into the customer journey to fundamentally transform contact center operations. Please welcome our founder and CEO, Swapnil Jain.
Thank you, Sharni, and welcome everyone. Today, we're here to celebrate a new milestone in human and AI interactions. We are about to enter into a new era in customer experience, where you no longer have to select between implementing cost-efficient automation and delivering great customer experience, and where your customers no longer dread your customer service, having to suffer through unhelpful IVRs and dreaded wait times and unnecessary transfers, where AI finally does the work you have hoped it could do. I'm excited to announce and unveil our new voice AI solution that will finally deliver a better experience for all. I know what many of you are thinking right now. We have tried IVR solutions, we have tried intelligent virtual agents, and we are not necessarily thrilled with the results. I agree. I absolutely agree with each of you. You see, there was a fundamental flaw with traditional conversational AI. It relied on humans to pre-program every possible conversation path. The creation of complex decision trees that took months to build and were incredibly rigid. Even though these systems use somewhat AI to understand customer inputs, they couldn't actually think or adapt. They just followed pre-written prompts, which meant the moment a customer asked something in an unexpected way, the whole system would break down. So now you've spent money on legacy technology, implementation services, and even creating new roles in your company like conversational AI designers. And in the end, your customers are more frustrated than ever. I bet you, each of you watching this right now has gone through this experience of an automated system not understanding them, and you yelling for an agent to talk to a human. I know I have. We knew we had to change this. You see, for nearly a decade now, we have been at the forefront of understanding human conversations. We have pioneered the use of AI to analyze customer conversations and provide insights to improve the agent and the customer experience. These insights give us an unparalleled understanding of what your customers want and what it takes to scale the experience across the contact center. Today, thanks to the advancements in generative AI and agentic AI, we can finally provide the contact centers with the conversational AI they always wanted. I'm thrilled to announce our voice AI agents that you can trust to interact with your customers and prospects with human-like authenticity and reasoning. These agents leverage your conversation data and can be built to mirror your best human agents. You can equip them with the knowledge of your products, policies, and the engagement rules to understand what your customers are calling about. And thanks to all the conversation intelligence collected from your past interactions, these AI agents also know the best next action to take to address the caller's needs. These agents are self-serving and continuously learning. You can fully customize them by giving them the voice, personality, and the vocabulary that matches your brand so they can deliver the same responses as their human counterparts. If you are wondering how personalizable these AI agents can get, we have a little surprise in store for you. We created a very friendly AI agent that would love to hear about your experience today after the event is over. If you're part of a contact center organization, call the number on the screen to let us know what you like best, and our AI agents will send the first 50 qualified callers a special gift. Ultimately, we are not just trying to solve today's contact center challenges, but want to create better experiences for both your people and your customers and deliver meaningful results to your bottom line. We're building the AI platform for contact centers where every human and AI agent works together with unprecedented synergy and unparalleled efficiency, where complex conversations are handled with both precision and human empathy at the lowest cost possible. We're not talking about a distant future here. This is happening right now. To truly understand what this breakthrough in voice AI technology actually means to the contact center community, I would like to invite one of our investors along with 2 customers who use our voice AI agents in their contact center. Welcome all. Thank you so much for joining us. Conversational AI is not new technology. It's been around for a while. What do you think is different now? Why so much hype about voice AI? Why do we believe the technology is here? Curious to hear your perspective. Manny, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think technology is getting stronger. I think the concept of the virtual assistant has always been there. Starting off, maybe it wasn't the strongest, but as technology is getting stronger with ChatGPT, along with some other features, language models are getting stronger. Our patients, our customer base is getting very diverse. And in my case, it's people are more seasoned in life, but I also have to cater to the younger generation that don't want to talk to somebody, someone that wants to quickly call in, quickly get an answer in and out. So I think it's we owe it to our callers and to kind of look into this further.
Ardie, maybe add some perspective on why do businesses think conversational AI is so critical? The technology didn't work in the past. Why not just give up on it?
Yeah. For us, it's about just really improving the member experience and continuing to push on innovation and transformation across our business. So when we look at conversational AI, even from the early days, we see it as a journey for our business. So the old days of the legacy rules-based solutions that were clunky to now with agentic AI experiences and capabilities, we see this as a full journey that we need to continue to invest in the member experience and just really elevating our service. And that's something that we're committed to continue and make sure that we could really drive quality to our members at the end of the day.
Thank you. Steve, maybe from your perspective, why do investors believe that conversational AI, even though the first generation of technologies never took off, why is now a different time? Why is this different?
Yeah, so I think, as already mentioned, you think about the classic IVR and all the frustrating experiences that people have had over time. They were very rigid. People didn't hear exactly what was going on. The system couldn't respond in real time, and people ended up just asking for an agent in frustration. What's happened over the last, I'd say, since late 2022 is essentially when ChatGPT came out. We've seen enormous progress in the underlying technologies that enable voice AI to be at a place where it can actually deliver real value and deliver real good customer solutions. So early iterations of the large language models were slow. They were a little bit unreliable. They hallucinated quite frequently. But even as you evolve from 23, probably into early to mid 24, the latency came down, the accuracy came up, and probably over the last 6 to 12 months, we've now had the fundamental ingredient technology that really allow companies like Observe to deliver a next generation experience.
With today's launch, ObserveAI now offers voice AI agentic solutions as well as the conversation intelligence platform. Tell our viewers, when is the right choice to go for a dedicated voice AI solution? And then when is the right choice to go for a full platform with voice AI agents combined with the conversation intelligence platform? Ardie, maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think this is a really important question. I mean, as we evaluate the market and we've been looking at, quite frankly, some of the standalone solutions, for our business, it doesn't really seem like it's enough. Where we take the stance is, first of all, some of the standalone solutions are merely AI wrappers. And so we're not looking for this generic approach. We want to make sure that it's actually talking to our data, with your core platform, with natural language processing, conversational intelligence, the insights from our business, all the NLP transcription, everything that are the moments that we're building, that I would say is base. We're able to leverage those upstream and create this incredible on-brand experience, and that's an extension of our people through this voice AI experience. So for us, it starts with what is it on top of, and how is it connected to our data, to our interactions, to who we are, And then how do we build that through so that it's really tailored and personalized from an engagement standpoint at the end to our member directly. So I would say, I'm a little bit biased here, but I would say for us, I don't think there's ever a standalone solution that makes any sense for, I could see it in the retail side or maybe in other areas, but in terms of healthcare and driving those personalized hyper engagement interactions, we need that base of everything that your product suite has to offer to leverage upstream.
In many ways, Ardie, if I understood correctly, right, it's not just about the future, which is AI agents. It's also about supporting your current human agents force, right, with the right solutions. So where conversation intelligence comes in is supporting your current human population, right, with better QA, better analytics, better insights, and helps you set the base to build amazing AI voice agents.
Yeah,
right?
and just to, I see it as a flywheel. We see the platform, our workforce, and the member facing all. There's a feedback loop there to where they need to inform each other to really elevate that experience. So we want to make sure that comes through with any solution that we have, and that's whether that's presented directly to our agents, in this case, in our clinicians, physicians, and care advocates, or directly to our members. We want the platform to be able to leverage all the intelligence and robustness of what we have.
Makes sense. Manny, your perspective?
Yeah, no, great question. I think it's, for smaller organizations, it may make sense to do the standalone solutions, but as bigger organizations get bigger, it's important that the platforms talk to each other. As previously mentioned, I think it's important to build a foundation specifically around moments and understand, what's going well, what's not going well with your customers, with your agents, and learn from that. And then from that, once you have the foundation built out, you can then, train the AI or kind of feed off of that, and it can go back and forth. AI is never going to replace both the human rights, but we have to cater to the future, which is both the consumer or the caller that wants to take stuff into their own hands, and then the ones that actually want to speak to somebody.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful component between the platforms.
Very well said, Manny. Thank you. Steve, from your perspective, when do you see a standalone voice AI agentic solution is enough? And when do you see a more comprehensive conversational AI plus conversation intelligence solution is needed from an enterprise perspective?
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing now is for very discrete transactional use cases, a kind of off-the-shelf voice bot may be enough. So think about something like a restaurant reservation, or maybe you're in a hotel and you need someone to bring up a glass of water. These are kind of discrete 20-second experiences where you can kind of experiment or roll an off-the-shelf voice bot. Where I think that really starts to fail is when you get into industries like healthcare, like financial services, that are not just transactional, and they really care about the customer experience. They have an enterprise contact center, and they're trying to both resolve a single issue, but also take that data and better understand a consumer over longer periods of time. That's when I think the enterprise approach that Observe takes, which is kind of the best of the agent workforce and some of the QA and other things that you do there, with the voice bot, can create a virtuous cycle where that data feeds each other, and it helps with the continuity of customer experience, which is so important to those types of enterprises. One of the things that we're curious about from the investor perspective is just, what does the implementation of a solution like this look like? What does it take to actually get the technology working? But perhaps more importantly, what does it take to do the change management and really roll this out smoothly throughout your contact center?
Yeah, I think from our side, I think the quickest or the best way for us, we were able to roll this out was through the success that we've had with the post-call analytics, right? So I think we already won the feedback, or we won the approval of our board members, of our lead team, but most importantly, the team members are actually using this. In this case, my management team, my quality team. And so when it came to implementation, we decided to kind of break down our use cases, working closer with our workforce management team and kind of identifying with our training team which specific calls we were able to kind of offset. We kind of looked at it from a use case standpoint, if it was directions, confirmation, post-call survey, some of the stuff that the agents didn't really like to use or really like to kind of handle or support. And then it was a little bit easier for implementation from that way. And then also utilization of the tool was fairly simple to use. We kind of pulled one of our agents or one of our leads to kind of support that.
Yep. And did the Observe platform help you discover those use cases, like the directions and things that you could automate?
No, great question. Yeah, so with that, in the use cases, we kind of tackled that first. We reviewed it from our workforce management standpoint, and then also from the moment standpoint. So we kind of already knew what was going to happen. We already knew, but ObserveAI or the platform kind of reassured us that those were the right use cases for us to tackle first.
Yep. Cool. What about you, Ardie?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll totally echo a lot of what Manny said. I think taking a step back before we even look at any solution or any implementation or integration with what can be transformation for our business, we've really spent many years developing a muscle to build kind of this muscle of change and innovation throughout our business. And it's not just product and tech, it comes by way of our operations team, our clinical operations team. So it's really kind of a culture that you have to build first and foremost in terms of how you want to take on innovation and transform people, process, technology across your business. Specifically to Observe, I think one of the big advantages and something that we've been incredibly happy about is the lightweight nature of their platform. For us, it's really important, one, that it's developer friendly because we do a lot of things on top. We like to build on top. So having a solution that can be developer friendly, that can be customizable, flexible, that we can add kind of our own proprietary and connect back to our platform is important. Ease of for business users, being business user friendly for our internal stakeholders. Yeah. Those are all very, very important for us. And we all know some of the old school players, they're just clunky and heavy, and the effort is high. There's a lot of maintenance and care and feeding, and the yield and the return on that is little to nothing. So this kind of new wave of how we're approaching things is easy to implement, increases and accelerates the speed to value for our members at the end of the day, gets us going and plugged in. And we've seen that from the other investments we've made with ObserveAI's platform, their core platform, all the way to other products and solutions to now the Voice AI.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what about you, Swapnil? What are you and your team focused on in terms of implementation and making your customers successful?
Yeah, from our perspective, given that this is such a new technology, right, we are taking a very consultative approach to our customers. Right, it comes back to product, team, and the process. Right, what we encourage our customers is to not boil the ocean with AI and trying to do everything. Put together a strategy. We'll work consultatively with our customers to mine all the data, to extract all the intents, and against each intent, we would score which is the high risk, low risk for an AI agent, and then we put together a roadmap for our customers to start automating, simpler queries with AI agents. And the good news is, with some of our customers, we have gone live in a matter of weeks versus a matter of months, right? And customers are already seeing value, and now they're on this journey with us to go from a human only contact center to a human plus AI contact center. Manny and Ardie, one of the key things that our customers are still learning is how do they evaluate if the investments they're making in Voice AI is successful, right? If the Voice AI agents they're deploying are successful, right? So what are some of the key things that you have seen or you have done in your business and your contact center to measure the ROI and success of these Voice AI agents that you have deployed?
Great question. One of the main KPIs that we kind of measured was containment rate. Is how well is the assistant helping out the caller? What percentage of the calls are being escalated over to a live agent? One of our key on our side is measured is containing a 95% containment rate. Only 5% of our calls are being escalated over to a live agent. And then from there, we want to make sure did the assistant help the caller out the first time. So the other KPI that we measured was our first call resolution. So we implemented a 72-hour first call resolution, which it's maintaining or containing the first call resolution within a 90 percentile as well.
And do you see a change in the behavior of the agents? Now, AI agents are taking some of these interactions, which mean the more complex ones are going to humans. Yeah. Right? So now your humans are doing more complex calls and more complicated scenarios. Are you seeing any changes in any key metric like an AHT or FCR or CSAT on the calls that are going to your human agents today?
Yeah, great question. So we are seeing our average handle time go up because it's part of the process. If the simpler calls are going away, that means the more complicated calls are coming over to our agents. With more complicated calls, tends to see a little bit higher or a little bit lower customer satisfaction ratings. But with that, I think it's important to kind of dig into the data, the metadata, to kind of identify why is it they're giving us bad feedback, why is it they're giving us bad net promoter scores, and then we learn from that as a business. So there are going to be some times where some organizations, or we were nervous at first. It's like, why is our CSAT dropping? Why is our average time increasing? But no, that's part of the process, because it means it's working. That the more complicated calls are coming back over to us.
And that's where the value of a conversation intelligence platform comes in, right? If you were not analyzing or mining the conversations that your human agents are doing, you would never really know what's the experience on that side, right? And you would only rely on 1% or 2% of the surveys. So what a full platform allows you to do is not only automate your simpler conversations and routine conversations, but also analyze the conversations now that are being handled by human agents, which are, as you said, more complex in nature, right? So we're able to dig into them to understand why the customers are still calling, why are they happy, why are they sad, how's the agent performance, so on and so forth.
Correct.
Ardie, over to you. How do you measure the success of these agents that you are deploying today?
Yeah, Manny hit on some really important ones. I'll add a few others and just kind of how we think about it. Excuse me. We take a step back, especially with this technology, to take a look and say, we have what's called AVA, which is the Accolade Virtual Assistant. And we want to really, truly have an extension of our people that's available to our members at the palm of their hands 24/7, nights, weekends. And that's just not in this kind of old school chatbot, voice bot type of experience. It's more, whether it's personalized and next generation engagement around how we, authenticate you or do intake or collect intent, and how we triage and route you, or if there's very simple questions that we can basically address up front that are coverage related questions, or I need my medical ID card. So there's the traditional kind of how we see it as like offense and defense. Like defensively, yes, there's scale here, there's volume avoidance, there's volume deflection, there's, the more, I would say, operational metrics like AHT reduction and ASA. Putting that aside, those are, of course, very important from a margin perspective and scale perspective. But I think this is unique to where it's not just about cost containment and operational efficiency, it's also about the member experience. And so for us, we actually, a set of the key metrics and success criteria is very much tied to member CSAT and NPS, resolution rate. How fast are we actually resolving your issue? ASA kind of isn't a proxy anymore. And so is it actually, are we resolving your and addressing your question in a timely manner and timely, accurate way? As we move forward and we start to really have this agentic experience up front that it's on brand with who Accolade is and tailored to the members, we can do a lot of the blocking and tackling up front in a really great way for our members and provide them optionality, and then pass it along to and optimize for our clinicians, physicians, and our care advocates when it gets a little bit more higher impact, higher complexity. Across the member value chain and experience. So we have an ability to do that now with this new technology.
Thank you.
And it sounds like you guys have had really great early success with the platform. What's next? What are you excited about rolling out with Observe next?
Yeah, I think on my side, we've seen a decrease a little bit in our CSAT, right? So we're deploying a survey bot afterwards, and then using the technology to then capture why the customers are specifically upset. Is it a specific region? Is it a specific clinic? So there's more insights, more information for us to kind of digest and kind of, redo training, or is it something that happened in the field? Is it something that happened in one of our clinics? So you grabbing that data and taking it back to our operations team and working together to find a really good solution for our customers. So we're really excited about that, and we're hoping to have that launched here in about a week.
Great.
Yeah, and we've seen great success on what we call the level 1 interactions, which are some of the things that I spoke about with coverage related questions or ID, or if there's, and we've also made there's enhancements and feature enhancements that are around the corner that are tied to kind of, I would say, our level 1 side. But I think what we're really excited is level 2 and beyond. Really, how do we figure out this intersection and blend of our people and AI coming together, and this kind of sweet spot of where it makes sense to, have Ava, like I said, our Accolade virtual assistant, be able to answer certain questions or collect information and pass it along and triage it to the right place, to the right person to get our members the right care. And then ultimately, I think once we can once we get a little bit further, for the voice AI to really speak to our platform and pull in all the proprietary data and information that we have, that's a comprehensive profile of our members that we can start to tap into, that will really kind of supercharge the experience.
One of the key things we've seen in voice AI that's been challenging out there has been latency. Handling interruptions when humans speak. When they're talking to an AI agent, they're cutting the AI agent, they're interrupting the AI agent. Understanding when it is end of the sentence or the human is just slow in speaking and taking pauses, right? All these things are really critical to understand to define a great voice AI experience. Otherwise, when you call in, you're seeing latencies, the machine is not able to handle interruption, and your consumers and your customers and your members are going to have a really bad experience. Tell us about that. What was your evaluation criteria and what made you comfortable that Observe is the leader in voice AI for CX?
Yeah, no, super important, great question. For our business, a big portion of it is voice driven. Although we have great digital assets and experience, the voice is still the front door of our business in a lot of ways. So it's really, really crucial to us that we get it right. And when you think about these legacy solutions and even things that we've invested in the past, there's been a lot of low confidence from our members, where they representative, or they've seen, to your point, some of these experiences where they're being talked over, or they're just not understanding the authentication or the numbers, and there's just a lot of issues. But with your product, we've seen performance, we've seen even just load testing on how many calls to run through your system and work together. We've seen a huge performance lift. And just stylistically, it's on brand with who we are. And we've been able to really test and prove that out with your core conversational intelligence platform, and coming upstream where we're able to leverage that within the voice experience. These are things that are really, really important to us behind the scenes, so that the front door experience isn't compromised or harmed. If anything, it's elevated. So yes, that's a big piece of when we are doing the evaluation. And to be honest, the UAT, the testing with your team,
Yep.
A lot of that gets conducted where we make sure that we can harden things to have the best experience possible.
Thank you. Manny, what's your perspective on this? When you were looking for a voice AI solution, what are the different things you considered, different data points when choosing a vendor, and what made you decide to go with ObserveAI?
Yeah, no, great question. I think one of the biggest things for us is that we always care about the customer journey, always think about the patient that's calling in. In some of the other platforms we're evaluating, there was delays in the responses. It sounded very robotic. It sounded, very traditional what people think voice AI is, right? But when we sat down and got to see the demo, had a chance to look around the room, reading my boss, my peers, some of my agents, some of my managers, and the look on their face on, wow, this technology exists. So wow, the responses is coming back very positive. It's a really good action, and for us, I think that was the biggest factor. Once we started identifying, and we kind of held that standard up to amongst the other ones, and they just unfortunately couldn't meet it. So like I said, it sounded very robotic. And I think the other part from us is the track record that we've had with the team. We've implemented the post-call analytics and really great support there. We got really great results. We were able to coach and train the agents, and then it was just the trust amongst both teams. And then not only it's not just a partnership where someone sells a product and they step away. The team that I have that's supporting my org, they're very in the weeds. They roll up their sleeves. They understand. They're always looking for better ways to kind of create better insights, so then we can coach, we can train. And we knew that was going to be the foundation for the future of AI, is that we had to have that very strong foundation for us to kind of build off of. So for me, I think it's a partnership. Ms. Briley mentioned, it's not a vendor relationship. It's a partner relationship where we both grow, we both learn from each other.
Thank you. Steve, from your perspective, as you talk to enterprises and when they're evaluating voice AI solutions for the CX, what are some of the key things that you see as key data points or key requirements from them coming up when they're deciding a voice AI solution?
Yeah, I think I just spoke with a leader the other day who mentioned, top of the list was accuracy and reliability, right? You want to ensure a consistent experience for your members. And to your point, it doesn't have to boil the ocean, right? The AI is not going to be handling 100% of calls, but the calls that they are handling, you want that to create efficiency, but also not frustrate the customer. So that would be one. And then the second thing I've heard is just really ease of use, right? Can you integrate into existing systems? Can you get this up and running quickly? And can you iterate, rapidly as the needs of your business changes? So those are the things that I've heard.
Obviously, in today's time, customer experience, contact center, customer service, and AI are two hottest topics out there. We see the biggest impact of AI is on customer experience. Every CFO, every CEO, every board out there is thinking about how do they revamp, transform their CX with AI. Curious to hear from your perspective, each of you, on what do you see as the future of CX and AI? Obviously, we're talking today about voice AI agents. We spoke a little bit about post-call analytics, QA, auto QA, real-time agent assist. What does CX and AI look like beyond 2025? Maybe Ardie will start with you.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's hard to imagine that we're just starting to scratch the surface with AI. Steve mentioned that it was late 2022 when ChatGPT released, their model to the world, and folks were starting to interact with these general purpose models. And it's, again, taking a step back, 2023 seemed like it was a year of hype cycles, and there's a lot going on, and people understanding what this means for their business, boardrooms, execs really grappling with what does this mean for me? And how can I accelerate kind of my objectives? And 2024, I feel like has been folks doing a lot of experimentation, really understanding and dialing it up a little bit more. And I would say 2025 and beyond, one, putting the technology aside, which I think is in like a toddler phase, there's a lot that's going to happen. So from a contact center perspective and a customer service perspective, get ready for it. Be AI ready, whether it's your platform, your data, your infrastructure, understanding how to basically work with AI from a core component. That's really important. Second is, I really feel like, the companies that do a good job of understanding where to leverage and where to apply AI and their people in that intersection of human and AI, where the expertise of your people and then what AI is great at with mundane administrative tasks, with simple Q&A, contextual awareness that can be complementary. That's the dance and the sweet spot that I think everyone's going to have to figure out. And I said this earlier, within your business, there's some type of continuum of a value chain of customer value, whether it's, front door all the way to the most complex thing that your business does. So it may even require, with this new emerging technology, to just take a step back and reassess your whole business model, and just your service delivery model from a contact center perspective. We sit in the middle of it because the two areas that are getting disrupted the most with AI is healthcare and customer service, and so we haven't kind of held on to any sacred cows or, tradition. We've really rethought our business and are taking a thoughtful approach of where and when AI should be applied. And like I said before, I think it's going to it has to be seamless and ubiquitous across your platform and applications and your people. AI as a coworker, AI as a companion, how you put AI in front of your members, and then how you derive real value from your platform and your data. So it's that kind of flywheel approach.
Manny, what about you?
Yeah, I would agree. Some of the key points I would kind of add is that, where does it go beyond, healthcare? Where does it go beyond customer service? In our industry, our customers are our doctors, our front desks, it's our managers. So, can we implement this in HR? Would it still be insensitive enough? Was it, from a compliance standpoint, from an IT standpoint as well? But I think the biggest challenges I'm going to see is that in the contact center world, as AI and humans work hand in hand, there's going to be a whole lot more people available in the market now, because those call volumes is going to maybe shift over a little bit over to the AI side. So I think one of the biggest challenges is that flood, or that group of people that are now hitting the market, is how do you identify those people in the right spots? Can AI help with recruiting processes? Can AI help with onboarding? Making sure that the team members that you do have on board working hand in hand with AI are very complementary. So I think that's where I'm going to see a lot of the biggest challenges for the 2025. And then from the leader standpoint is the willingness to let go and adapt AI, right? As I already mentioned, is the getting ready your team, having your team ready for it. getting involved in front of seminars, getting in front of like trainings. And, this product is very simple to use. I mentioned earlier that one of our leads is building this for us now, but the sooner you get your team members involved, you get them in the process, there'll be an easier process or an easier adaptation into the product, right? Where I don't think some other industries are like that. So I think those are going to be some of the bigger challenges that we have.
Makes sense. Yeah, please.
I think beyond like demystifying what AI is and for you and your business, at least for Accolade, this is not a replacing people tool. This is, if anything, folks, we're up-leveling our people. So, hey, you don't need to work on those basic tasks and interactions anymore. Like, this is a great complementary way that there's this back and forth and synergy between AI and the expertise that we have in-house. So I think there's this misnomer that like, hey, in the contact center space, you should throttle all in on AI or throttle all out on AI and be fully human or be fully AI. I think those folks will fail. And I think it's that sweet spot where, at least how we're approaching it, where we think that we can unlock the most amount of value.
Thank you. Steve, you have a very unique position. You obviously talk to a lot of leading edge companies, right, bringing innovation to market, pushing the boundaries on technology. What do you see as the big opportunities beyond 2025 in CX and AI?
Yeah, I think these guys both know much more than I do, and they kind of spoke very well about the specifics of what will change in their business. I think if you look at an industry as a whole, I think customer service, customer experience has long been a function that has frustrated customers. And I think the confluence of AI plus forward-thinking leaders like yourself is finally going to change that. And we're going to see the opportunity for people to get through to have some of their more mundane conversations automated or handled very quickly, and then also have the experience to have a more differentiated customer care with a human agent. And so I think when you see the opportunity for AI to fundamentally change the consumer experience across something like that, it's going to be a really interesting time and opportunity.
Manny, Ardie, and Steve, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your perspectives. Obviously, you are the pioneers in the field and implementing voice AI solutions, so it was great to hear your on-the-field perspective. Now you've heard from the practitioners in the field, you've heard from Steve of what he's seeing on the technology side. Let's now see how easy is it to create voice AI agents. We'll show you a demo of how you can implement all these in your contact center. Colin, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Colin, and I'm the VP of Product for Voice AI. I'm excited to show you how easy it is for anyone to create their new Voice AI agents using our intuitive agent app. So let's get started. After you log into the system, you'll begin by clicking on this prominent Create Agent button. Next, we'll give you the option to create an agent from scratch or utilize one of the many pre-built templates featuring some of the most popular function and industry use cases. These pre-built AI agents are designed to help you get started even faster, and we'll continue to add more ready-made templates to support you. For this example, we will skip the easy option and choose the blank template to create an agent from scratch. To begin creating our agent, first, let's name them. We recommend giving them a descriptive name like appointment scheduling agent or claims processing agent to help you quickly identify them in the future as you scale your automation efforts. The best way to approach the creation of your agent is to think of them as a human agent that you onboard into your organization. What are the steps you would take to get them set up? What SOPs would you give them so they can handle conversations with your customers with ease? Give them a name that they can use during a customer interaction to refer to themselves. You can pick from over 20 options to determine the language your AI agent will use when speaking to your customers. We are LLM agnostic, and you can choose almost any provider based on your company's preference. Next, you can create any greeting your customers will hear when they first connect with your agents. Under the agent description, you'll want to describe the agent's role and the job in your organization. What are its responsibilities, and what are the tasks you expect them to perform? Feel free to get as granular as possible. Our agents can automate up to 100% of call flows. However, if you have complex use cases, more delicate interactions, or you just want to be ready for any emergency. You always have the option to specify how your AI agent should process the transfer to a human. Next, you can specify what happens with the call data after the call ends. Do you want to generate a summary that gets sent to Salesforce? Just specify it here, along with the message your agents will use to end the call. The next section is very important. Under guardrails, you'll be able to specify which conversations your agent should avoid, like providing medical advice. Maybe you want the agent to always transfer a frustrated caller directly to a human. Here, you can get really granular with the details through learnings from testing and continue to update any restrictions you do not want the agent to cover here under the guardrails section. Next up, we're going to give your AI agent a personality. You can use details from your brand persona, or maybe list out traits of your best human agents who are known to handle very specific use cases better than anyone else in your team. You have a lot of flexibility to create an agent that communicates exactly the way you want it to, and you can do so in natural language. Now for my favorite part. Let's pick a voice that's going to match our personality. We work with many different providers to give you a variety of options for every language. Simply listen to the preview and select the voice you like. Under the advanced settings, you can further fine-tune how your agents engage and manage a conversation. Select if a conversation should be recorded, how quickly an agent should speak after a caller stops talking, when an agent should stop speaking when a customer talks over them, and the exact language an agent should use if the customer is unresponsive and how often you want them to repeat that message during the call. So now that we've established the foundation for our AI agents, we can give the agent the task, goals, and steps that it should follow, and the actions it should take to accomplish that goal. What's really great here is you can grab a transcript from a real conversation with a customer and have Observe analyze it and auto-populate these fields for you. You can specify which actions the agent should be completing during the call, such as cross-referencing calendars for appointment scheduling, or checking on policy details during a claims call through the integrations with your apps. And I'll show you how to configure those shortly. So now, your agent is ready for a test. You can either preview them in the conference-style environment via our preview function, or you can choose the Call Me option to talk to your agent directly over the phone. A critical part of your AI agents are their ability to interact with your business applications to complete tasks independently. So to do this, we offer out-of-the-box integrations with over 200 applications, including Salesforce, Google, Zendesk, and many more. These integrations can be configured into actions, giving the agents the tools they should be leveraging to complete their tasks. Whether you want the agent to create a lead in Salesforce, access the knowledge base to answer complex questions, use your agent for call transferring, or you need to access anything on the web via REST API, it is all configured and set up this way. Creating these actions is very easy. Simply choose the action that best describes your use case. You can select an option from the drop-down menu and specify how and when the agent should be taking this specific action. You can fully customize when an action should be executed and how the agent should express that is performing this task to the person on the other line. And also, what happens if there's any failures or delays in executing the action? Of course, once an action has been designed, it can easily be previewed. So with this, you have effectively built an AI agent that you can deploy into production. They're all configured with phone numbers and with SIP domains. An AI agent has a task you've assigned to it to perform. It uses the personality you've given to it to deliver great customer service. And you've also given it the actions so it can complete its job at hand and achieve the goals you've set out for it. And that's how easy it is to get started with Voice AI agents. Thank you.
We asked hundreds of contact center leaders to describe their ideal Voice AI solution. Their feedback helped us create Voice AI agents.
Hello, my name is Sam. How may I help you today?
They wanted something that's both powerful and simple to use. So we made it easy for anyone to design and deploy voice agents quickly and scale them as the business grows. Voice AI Agents understands your company and industry inside and out, so it can handle routine calls autonomously.
Why is my copay higher than usual?
It appears your routine visit was coded incorrectly. Would you like us to contact your doctor to get this updated?
Our Voice AI picks up on your customer sentiments and responds with patience and empathy.
Sorry to hear about your accident. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. Let's get started on your claim right away.
Voice AI Agents delivers on-brand ethical support and follows your strict privacy, security, and compliance standards. Plus, it's part of our larger comprehensive conversation intelligence platform, which powers both human and AI agents across every customer touchpoint. Because when you're committed to redefining the status quo of contact centers, you need Voice AI on a platform that's dedicated to you.
Hi, I am Vacha Maroyan, Chief Product Officer at ObserveAI. Nearly a decade ago, we set out on a mission to create an AI-powered contact center platform to help our customers capture the full potential of their customer conversations and drive strategic impact across the entire business. The launch of Voice AI Agents marks a new milestone, establishing our platform as the only end-to-end solution where human and AI agents can collaborate to fundamentally transform your customer interactions and business outcomes. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's exciting to look back and understand how we got here. We first focused on analyzing conversations to assess and automate agent performance, as well as provide insight into the products and services a company offers to their customers. Next, we expanded the platform to offer real-time guidance and assistance to ensure all your agents perform like your best agent. Behind the scenes, we built up our AI platform capabilities, including creating our own ASR, our own LLMs, and an agentic framework to power our applications with Gen AI. Throughout our journey of launching these technologies for over 350 customers, we learned to appreciate just how nuanced conversations are at your contact centers. The background noises, multiple people, the plethora of accents, languages, vocabulary acumen, the range of customer emotions. All of these learnings have deepened our understanding of which use cases could and should be automated and what technology was needed to do it effectively. Fast forward to today, we are excited to see Voice AI as a core part of the ObserveAI platform. It's capable of fully automating entire conversations from start to finish, unlike any solution on the market today. The best part? Voice AI is simple. No complex dialogue flows to set up, no crazy rules, just natural language. One of our first customers was up and running in just 2 weeks. That's the power of what we've built. A simple, more effective solution for today's contact centers. In true ObserveAI fashion, though, we didn't build it in a silo. Voice AI leverages the power of the platform to make sure that users and customers receive an interconnected experience when interfacing with our products. For example, the Auto QA functionality analyzes 100% of your interactions, which helps you to understand what flows to automate, while also assessing how your Voice AI is performing. If Voice AI is not able to resolve an issue when a customer calls in, the context of that interaction is transferred to human agent with contextual guidance via real-time agent assist, so that they can take it over the finish line. Because our platform ingests and analyzes both human and AI agent interactions, it creates a self-learning loop that continuously enriches and improves the performance of all your agents, human or bot. This is how you create an interconnected platform where 1 + 1 = 3. As we look into the future of our contact center AI platform, ObserveAI will continue to push the limits on what is possible by leveraging the power of Gen AI. When I talk with our customers and prospects, they talk a lot about magic, largely in reference to Gen AI.
I, along with the rest of ObserveAI, have a vision where interactions are powered like this. A customer calls into a contact center. Let's say they're having an issue with their phone. They interact with the Voice AI to help them out. They have a conversation, and Voice AI determines there's an issue with battery life. It sends a text message with a link to a knowledge base article to help them out. Voice AI successfully resolves that issue, but now the customer wants to make a purchase of a watch for their daughter. They are seamlessly transferred to the best human agent who can handle purchases and has all the context of the Voice AI interaction. The agent, using real-time agent assist running in the background, is now getting automated guidance to help the customer with the watch purchase. The agent is able to guide the customer to complete their sale, and then a summary is generated automatically at the end of a call, so the agent can move on to help someone else, saving that particular agent that valuable 6 minutes. The call is transcribed and automatically assessed from a quality perspective on the interaction. The agent then would receive automated coaching at the end of the week, and the supervisor can include those learnings in their next one-on-one together. Voice AI then finally learns to handle a watch upsell call flow, and that new flow is launched to customers. That right there is a magical experience. By integrating all of these capabilities into one cohesive platform, we unlock the potential to create a truly transformative customer experience. If you find this as exciting as we do, and you'd like to hear more, reach out to us. We'd love to build you an AI agent that meets the needs and fits the brand voice of your company. I encourage you to call the number on the screen and talk to our Voice AI agent. Don't forget, the first 50 qualified callers will get a gift to commemorate today's event. You can also experience other agents by visiting our website. AI agents are here today and ready to go to work for your business. We're looking forward to speaking to you and supercharging your contact center with Voice AI. Thank you, and have a great day.